guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. I know you're probably wondering what's this 2.0 Craftroom tour that I'm talking about, but I just wanted to show you guys what I've done to my craft room because it was just so chaotic and I was losing my creativity. Couldn't really think clearly in the space because it was so cluttered. And I figured instead of like not knowing what's in half of those things, I might as well just go through them all and figure it all out. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what I've done to my craft room since the last Craftroom tour. And I think you would agree with me that things are so much more organized, and I mean, it still looks like a lot of stuff, but I can tell you exactly where everything is and I know exactly what everything is used for. So this will help me be a little bit more creative. So I'm just going to pan the room really quickly just so you can get a feel for what I'm working with. This is my new space. It's a lot more organized and creative, I think. Alright, so this used to be the drop zone where I just walked in and dumped everything, and I put this, this was a standing shelf that was somewhere else in the room, so I just flipped it on its side and made it into this nice little seating area. And I still have some pegboard that I need to hang somewhere in the room if possible, but I have ran out of wall space. So this is my pegboard up here, and it's more of a creative inspiration board, so to speak. So there's quite a lot going on it, but I wasn't able to access this before. So now I can access it, and I'll be able to do a lot more with this pegboard over here. And right above the pegboard is a shelf that has the word create. And my Barbies are still sitting up there on that shelf. Yep, they're still hanging out up there. And in that cabinet are, I'm a big Barbie fan. Not really a big Barbie fan, but I used to be a big Barbie fan. And those are my 3 Barbies sitting up there. And in there are some of their accessories. So that was a cabinet that I found at Goodwill. I just repurposed it to display my things. And of course, these are all just some macrame things that I've made in the past. These are all handmade macrame creations that I've done. Alright, so these 2 drawers right here used to be stacked one on top of the other in another location. It was over here. And I realized that they're too short to put anything on top of to make a table. And you know, I just figured, well, I can stack them side by side instead of stacking them one on top of the other, which was more of a hazard than anything else. So I just put them on top of this 4-cube IKEA shelving system right here. And I'll just go through every section just so you know that I know what's in all of it. So right here is my washi, of course. That's a 3-drawer washi holder. Right next to it are some journals that I use to jot down notes and what have you in it. Those are my alcohol markers back there, and these are just some projects that I made on this channel during the Christmas and July projects. In this box right here is some coffee dye paper, and then some specialty paper that I use just to make signatures for my journals. And right next to it are those brushes that I use sometimes to stencil or to ink my projects. And in these drawers are my tools. So here, I'll just quickly show you. These are just all my tools that I use for jewelry making and deconstructing books and what have you. And then the rest of this is all jewelry making supplies. And next to it are some stamps and embossing powder, some Tim Holtz liquid alcohol sprays, and some Tim Holtz what is this, distress powders. Okay, in there, and then just some more miscellaneous stuff. This is all of my excess glue, so I have glue for days. I will probably never run out of Fabri-Tac. So yeah, I just have tons and tons of glue in there, and then some more miscellaneous items. These are my mixed media pads. I have a acrylic pad, a watercolor pad, like they're all stacked in this drawer. And then down below are some more mixed media pads in here and some paints. So those are my watercolor paints in there. And these are my acrylic paints down here. Okay, so over here I have my packaging for shipping, and down below are my spools of yarn, my skeins of yarn down there. Okay, so below my inks are stacks and stacks of paper packs. So these are primarily the ones that I reach for. A lot of primary colors, a lot of double-sided paper packs in here, and some single-sided ones as well. So this was the paper pack that I used yesterday to make that little journal, and it came in really handy. So, and next to my brushes are these boxes right here, and I can tell you exactly what's in each one because I've labeled them all. So this is my trash to make ephemera. It looks like this. It's like stuff that comes in the mail that I will never dare throw into a landfill, but I'd rather make things with. So in this box right here is my trash packaging to make ephemera. This is my new packaged ephemera and new packaged ephemera. And in this box right here is some completed ephemera that I've made. This is some completed ephemera that I've made. This right here is the washi collage, and these, like, I guess they're like 4x6 or 6x6 sheets of washi collage and washi paper. Let's just see. Yep, 6x6 paper pack. So that's what's in there. These are my large envelopes, pockets, laundry tags, bingo cards, things like that that I can alter and make things with. More paper in here, and this is handmade envelopes. So going over here now, we have these little trays that I picked up at IKEA. This shelving system was from Michaels, and in this right here I have foam pads. So these are 4x6 foam pads as well as 8.5x11 foam pads, and this is just ready paper that I can use to make signatures or various projects with. And this is 8.5x11, and these are ready projects that I can just grab something from in here and tuck into a junk journal. And this is my like on the go, like this is like really close to proximity to my desk, so I can just grab some of this coffee dye paper and make a signature really quickly. Above here is these 3 little jars. I got them at the Dollar Tree. They're like candy jars, I guess, like, you know. This is washi. These are my altered pom-poms that have little paper clips on them, and those are just some colorful buttons. So I thought that would look really cute right up there at the top. And next to it is an empty box. This right here was a display box that I picked up at IKEA. It had something in it at IKEA, and I was like, oh, I can use that in my craft room. So yeah, it's just an empty box right there. And next to it are my stickers. So those are all the stickers that I use in almost every project that came from the Dollar Tree. Okay. And these are just some wire shelves, wire baskets. I turned them sideways, and this is cardstock that's on hand right there. I can just reach for it. Those are a couple of rolls of shelf liners. This is my box that I grabbed everything out of when I'm it has all of my die cuts in it. So all the things that I've made with my die cutting machine, I just pop them in there and I can grab them really quickly when I'm making a project, like my tabs and you know, various die cutting things that I've made. This is my painter's paper. I use these a lot in a lot of my projects. Like when I'm collaging, I use painter's paper because it's cheap, and you know, it makes a collage fun. And like, you can really kick up the collage a little bit by just putting a little bit of painter's paper behind it. And over here are my 8.5 by 11 labels. This is my laminating pouches, and this is some specialty paper. I used some of this yesterday in that journal that I made. And below here are all of my 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So this is 160 GSM paperweight cardstock. I get them mostly at Michael's. They all look like that, or like that. Okay, so 8.5 by 11 cardstock are in all of these cases right here. And right above one of these boxes are my slide cutters. So this is a slide cutter with a scoring tool attached. These are all of my slide cutters underneath here. And they're all in close proximity to my desk. I can just grab them and go with that. I still keep some of my inspirational books on the shelf, but just not as many. So I've put a lot of them away. And yeah, all the way down to the floor are 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it all. So right over here, we're going to start in this drawer, is my crocodile and my eyelets. Okay, so there's my small crocodile and the big ones down there, as well as some book plates. Okay, so when I'm creating a journal, I just grab these right here. This is my large punch boards and punches that will not fit into my normal punch drawer. So these are just oversized punches that I use all the time. Okay, so there's that. Below it is my drawer filled with spine dangles and charms, and these you've seen me make on this channel. These are paper beads. You know, so this is all just filled with charms and spine dangle making equipment. And below it are my wooden stamps and my stamping pad, as well as quite a few stamping blocks. So down there is just a little carousel with these little laser cut chipboard items that you see me make, you know, like Twitchies with, or various things with. So they're just on this little carousel on this bottom shelf. And in this drawer is my elastic and some notepads. So this is where I reached into this drawer and grabbed these notepads right here to make a project the other day, and some other various things in there. And then down here are some additional cutting tools. So this is those wheeled cutters that I'm scared to use, especially on camera, because I don't want to cut my finger off and that video go viral. So I keep those in there, and some zigzag cutters with, you know, various cutting styles on it. And down here is my double-sided tape and my puffy pad tapes, you know, like this stuff. So that's where I keep those, as well as my bookbinding tape. So this is my bookbinding tape. This is some framers tape, some double-sided tape, some Gorilla tape, masking tape, etc. And then that drawer right there just has miscellaneous things in it. It's not a big drawer, so it can't be filled with anything really important, so I'm not even going to show you what's in there. Down here below are a couple of my books. So this one is the Sears and Roebuck catalog that I was telling you about. Right next to it I have some embossing tools and these Nora Jane peg stamps that I showed you guys before. So these are really cool. I like those a lot. So I keep them close by. Okay, so alongside of the drawers is this box right here that just has like tons and tons of colored pens and colored pencils and stuff like that in there. And down here are my books. So these are all of my books that I use to deconstruct and use book pages to make various projects. So I have two of those. There's one on this side, and then there's this one down here on this side. So these are very old books. I'm keeping them as safe as I possibly can by putting them into this box. But some of these are super, super old. Like the pages are so brittle that they need to be held together with the rest of my books. I don't think I told you guys, in this drawer right here is all of my stamps. So these are my silicone stamps, like that. And next to it, so I can take this entire thing out. It's in a box. I can take the whole thing out and bring it over to my desk and then sort through it and figure out which silicone stamp I want to use for my project. And then right next to it are all of my stencils. So these are just various stencils that I either picked up at the Dollar Tree or ordered online at Amazon. So I have tons of those. Or AliExpress. I think some of these came from AliExpress as well. So stencils and stamps are in there. Okay, so let's see, where do we go next? Well, this is where Dolce hangs out most of the day. He's always in there. He's probably taking a nap somewhere else right now. Let me see if I can go get him. And there's Dolce. Dolce, say hi. Say hi, Dolce. Yep, that's where Dolce hangs out every day. He's fairly quiet. He doesn't really bark much, and he sleeps a lot. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hello. Okay, so that's enough of Dolce. Okay, so over here on this side of the room is where I keep some of my finished projects. So there's some paintbrushes up there, but right next to it are the journals that I've made in various projects on camera. So this is just a journal that I made. This is the black and white farmhouse journal, that monochrome journal that I made. And then back there is the boho butterfly journal that I also made. And I will be soon putting those up in Etsy and hopefully selling those, but they are still for sale. So if you guys are interested, just let me know and I can DM you, or you can DM me and we could talk about it. And this box right here, I found it at Goodwill. It's a cute little wooden box, and it has all of my little wooden block stamps. So not all of them, but I thought this box was so cute and I was like, yep, I'm getting it. It was only a couple of bucks at the Goodwill, so this is where I keep all of my wood block stamps, or some of them. And this is also the zone where I edit my videos. See, here's my monitor, my laptop bag, and my keyboard and stuff. So that's just a painting that I did right there. And below my keyboard are paint brushes, foam brushes, and my hot glue guns and some hot glue. And this is a rolling cart that I have things that I access a lot. So down below are my Edith Holland books and my Victorian flower book and a bunch of different vintage books down there, some markers on the upper shelf, and then some Tim Holtz paper packs of journaling cards and such. Next to my monitor, I keep these 3 boxes. They have fabric in it. So I think I showed you guys before, but this is the majority of my fabric. They're all in here. And what's not folded in those 3 boxes, they are down here below in one of these 3 drawers. And right above it is my sewing machine that I use every day. It's a Brother Project Runway limited edition. I'll tell you guys the model number because I've been asked several times what type of sewing machine you use. It's CS, as in I don't know, CS Charlie Sam 505 5PRW. So PRW is for Project Runway. So it's a Brother machine. It works really good. It's a good workhorse. It does everything that I've asked it to do. Right next to that is my vintage Royal or Remington Rand typewriter. It's an old vintage typewriter. It still works. I love it very much. It makes a good conversation piece anyway in my craft room. And next to that is another sewing machine. So this is a brand new sewing machine. I got it from a friend. It was still in the box. I mean, there's the foot pedal right there. It hasn't been opened yet. But yeah, I just figured, well, if my workhorse dies one day, it's always good to have a backup. So I will eventually plug this in and give it a try and see how well it works for some of the stuff that I do. Can it stitch paper? Can it stitch fabric onto paper? Like, those are the types of things that you really want to make sure that your sewing machines can do. And above it are these shelves. Now, I've been asked several times, like, what are those shelves with all of those jars on it? I got those at Michael's way back when, prior to Michael's selling furniture. So I don't even know if they still have them. I've had these probably for 6 or 7 years now, or maybe longer. But in it are just jars and jars of beads and buttons and bits and bobs and all kinds of goodies that I can play with in my crafting projects. So I'll just show you the two of those. Some of those jars are empty, so I can always put some more stuff in there. And those two are, these two right here are wooden letters that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And right next to it is baker's twine. So I use a lot of baker's twine in some of my projects to like close, you know, do closures and stuff like that. All right, moving right along. Over here is now my new Cricut Zone. So this is where I put my Cricut. It used to be on the other side of the room, right next to the drop zone, but it was getting swallowed up by that drop zone. So I totally was happy to move it over here because a lot of things that I cut requires additional lighting. So even like if I do like a print and cut with my Cricut, it still needs to print it off and it needs that extra light. So I just moved it over here next to the window where it gets a lot of natural light. And below it is my little mini Cricut, the iron. So like this right here is the big one. It's the press. And then right below here is the mini one. And over here is just some vinyl. I'm sorry, my voice is like really scratchy right now. My throat's scratchy. So down below is just some additional things that I'm housing. You know, there's some more Cricut things in there and there. And then this is where I keep my tools and my foil quill and additional markers for the Cricut. And back here is my light board or my light pad. And this is just the ironing pad for the press. Alright, so back over here is that zone that I really love. I'm glad I picked up these at on the side of the road. Well, I went to the lady's home. She was redoing her kitchen, and I picked up this cabinet and that cabinet over there. So these are really good kitchen cabinets that are soft close and really nice. I don't even know why she was getting rid of them, but I grabbed them and I'm really glad I did because it makes this really long station over here. And this has my laminating machine, my my die cutting machine by We Are Memory Keepers, my Sizzix Big Shot, a generic mini, and then my Gemini mini down here at the end. So this is basically where I keep all of my my cutting tools, my die cutting tools. And up here is where I keep all of my die cuts. So these are all die cuts back here, and these are all embossing folders and you know, printing folders for the cutting machine. And this is just my little matchy vintage, well, not really vintage, it's old, but it doesn't work anymore. I should probably plug it in and check it again, but I bought this back in probably, I don't know, 99. It's a Genome sewing machine. I liked it because it was cute and small and it did what it had to do at the time, but right now it's just, it saw its last days and I just don't want to get rid of it. And these down here are those other 3 rolling carts that I have just various things on. It's all very magnetic, so I put a lot of these jars attached to it. So, and these jars have like push pins and, you know, various things that I use. Like this right here are my little finger suction things so that I don't burn myself with my hot glue gun. And yeah, just various things are on those 3 rolling carts, and I can roll them around to whichever section of the room that I need it the most. And this just brings me right back around to my desk. So let's talk about this desk of mine. Yes, for the most part there is a lot going on this desk, but everything on here has a purpose. So I do keep a clear recording space. So this is where I record my videos. These are my cutting mats, self-healing cutting mats that I love this color. It just brightens up the room so much. And behind it are all of my glues right here. So I know exactly where to find any glue that I'm looking for, whether it's a glue stick or spray glue or, you know, art glitter or what have you. It's all kept right there. Behind it are some embellishments for making journals and stuff. So those are just drawers that I can just pull out right there. Next to it is a small little desktop trash bin. So that's there. And then these are all of my inks. So I have tons and tons of Tim Holtz Ranger Distress inks and oxides that I can use to ink a project. Above it are my inking pads, those little daubers. Okay. And this is where I record. So I have this craft light right here, which has a magnifying glass on it. And it's fairly bright. It's a fairly bright ring light. And then next to it is my newer ring light. Oh, sorry. Right here, I'll just show you. This is my other ring light that I use all the time because it gets so sketchy in here as far as the lighting is concerned. So I have to keep those ring lights on all the time. As a matter of fact, this is my second attempt at recording this video solely because I was so excited I forgot to turn the lights on when I recorded it earlier. So anyway, this is my glide gear. It's my camera mount that I attach my camera to right here, and it's usually facing down at my desk. So over here is my Tim Holtz Glass Mat, and this is the little booklet, the little book project that I made yesterday out of a green file folder, right? So here are my wipes. They're all dried up, so this is where I pull my dry wipes from in this package. And next to it is my sticker maker. So this is a Zion sticker maker, or Zyron. I've never used it, but I intend to, because maybe I'll do that on camera. Wish me luck. Above there is just some ephemeral embellishments, and these are all of my paper clips in these 4 drawers right there. That's a new system right there. I just picked that up at IKEA. Don't know what I'm going to do with it as yet, but I started gathering some things for my 500 subscriber giveaway. So I've been putting everything that I want to put into that giveaway in that drawer, and eventually it'll be so full that I have to give it away. So hopefully we'll see. I'm looking forward to that drawing. On my desk here is my little mini guillotine and my 2 scoreboards. This is my score pal and my score buddy. Okay, and then there's my large guillotine. And this right here is a little carousel that has tons and tons of things that I reach for all the time. Oh, I wasn't even showing it to you. Yeah, here's my little carousel. Alright, so here's my giant paper clips and just various things that I reach for all the time. It has like extra scissors and cutting tools and rulers and whatnot in there. Here's my tearing ruler. Alright, so yeah, I just reach for these things all the time in there. And on my desk as well, I keep some additional rulers, pencils, my brayer, some Faber-Castell pens, you know, and my Tim Holtz distressing brushes. So yeah, yep, here's my pokey tool, my bone folder. Like, it's all like right here in like reach of my recording area. All right, so let's talk about this recording area. So underneath, this is just a piece of plywood that I made this desk with. It's 3/4 inch pine, I believe. And down here are those drawers that are filled with all kinds of various things. So let's see, some brads, some book corners, and they're in these little things right here. Here's my Velcro dots right here at reach. Like, I'm working here, just open this drawer and here's everything that I use on a regular basis. My bull nose clips, okay, my little clamps that I clamp things together with. So it's all like really close proximity. Down below here are my glue mats. So these are silicone glue mats. Down below in this drawer, some more brads and embellishments to go on book corners and whatnot. And then this is my flat back pearls and, you know, just additional embellishments, like things that I need on a regular basis. I use it all the time. Here's some ribbon, which is really more like rickrack and you know, decorative ribbon. It's not really like the ribbon that's on those crazy spools. And then down here is all of my tissue paper, and below it some more tissue paper and some miscellaneous. Next to that drawer system are all of my paper packs. They're all in these paper storage bins. Okay, so I have tons and tons of paper packs in there. Also, I have like chipboard and some flat vinyl for my Cricut. Okay, and next to it are some more stuff that I need all the time. Okay, so like this is for my ink. I blow ink. These are just stickles and what are these? Liquid pearls, right? I'm sorry if I'm not on camera all the time. I'm also trying to read the bottles and give you the right description of what these are. This is my drawer of punches. So really close proximity to my desk that I'm working at, and these are just all of my punches that I use almost every day. And down here are some, this is my ribbon that I use almost every day as well. Like when I'm creating, I just grab some ribbon out of this drawer. So it's just some really accessible ribbon. Let's talk about ribbon, for example. I mean, for a second. My ribbon has been the vein of my existence on these Joanne ribbon spool holders, okay? I do not like those things. I thought that they would make a great wall aesthetic, but it turns out that they are just more of a pain than useful. Okay, I cannot access some of those ribbons, like when the spool is empty. It's impossible. Like all you can do is pull the ribbon off the spool, and when the spool is empty, it sits there for 6 months to a year before you can take the whole thing off the wall, lift the spool, the rods off of the, I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a chaotic mess. Okay, I don't know who designed that or why, but it just does not work for the purpose of use. It's very pretty aesthetically to look at, but if you want to use it, you got a lot more going on than just, you know, using ribbon. All right, so I've relocated a lot of my ribbon to another space in the room, down in that drawer, for example, and I'm much happier with it that way. Up above here, above my cutting machines, are my rolls of Cricut vinyl. And I say Cricut vinyl, it doesn't necessarily have to be Cricut vinyl. Like some of that's from the Dollar Tree. I mean, $1.25 versus $14 for a roll of Cricut vinyl, and you're getting the same amount in the same dimensions. So why not use what you got, right? So those are just some IKEA bag storage little cases that I repurposed it to house my vinyl. And that brings us right back around full circle to the beginning of the room. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Craftroom Tour 2.0 because I love this space. It has made me so much more creative, so much more productive. There's less clutter, there's nothing really on the floor, and I'm just so much happier in this space right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want you guys to stay naturally curious and go do something crafty, guys. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.